Okay, welcome to Markolide, where Kopal and Shirin's world collides. Hi, I'm Kopal,
Hi, I'm Shireen.
and
Hi.
Chicks and me hi.
One day we shall tell y'all as to what it truly means. And for if anybody does figure it out, see how well you respond to it.
Yeah, put it in the comments or something. I mean, that's what
Mhm.
people do, right? Type it in the comments. Wait, let me be a YouTuber. Please type it in the comments what you feel is this whole me hi, chick send me hi phenomenon is. If you can guess it, we'll chat more. Okay, let us begin.
Yes. So, Kopal,
Hmm.
if in this space, if I were to ask you what you're really thinking or feeling, or what's your headspace like,
Hmm.
and without really describing it in words, if there was an object or if there is something in your surrounding that truly explains or represents that, what would it be?
So, since I don't clean up as often, I have lots of items right here. And
We
I'm
are
gonna,
very creative people, so we just have things around us. Let's put it like that.
yeah. So, I
Hmm.
feel, mm, I don't want to say empty chair because, yeah, I feel like this comfy rocking chair
Mhm.
which has a soothing blanket, which is like here to listen. So that's the chair that this whole thing represents, and that's the headspace I'm in. I'm like feeling comfortable. We'll get cozy under this little blankie and listen to you in a rocking chair.
Interesting. Nice. That's a nice visual also to have that feeling. I
How
think
about
that's nice.
you?
I'm not as comfortable at this point, if I were to put it. Not that there is a comparison, but from things around me, what does again? I do have quite a few objects, creative minds and
Creative
all.
mind.
But I do feel like this just like a little bit of cloth, yarn thingy. If you can see it, I love the fact that it's got multiple colors. It's really soft, and also, but there is like uh, some paper stuck within it. It's just the representation of lots of stuff. I think like a cloud of thoughts that's going
Hmm.
on and entangled a bit, but also because the color is so nice there, I think I would just sit with that.
So the paper represents the thoughts or the entanglement or the color or the.
I just, I think it's just the multiplicity of it aspect. The fact that there are multiple colors to this, the fact that there is something stuck within it, the fact that it is entangled, but also I know that it's not as entangled. If I can just pull it out, it will become like one full string of yarn. So that concept is also there. And the different shades and the hues that it represents. So I think I'm just sitting. I'm not going to call it like it's entangled in that the thoughts are entangled, just the
Hmm.
feeling of it. Maybe another word, but then I don't think there's really one that totally encompasses all of those thoughts.
I find it interesting that how there was a sensory element in both our this thing. My thing is also like very soft to touch, and yours is also soft to touch. Love
And
that.
yeah, and I could almost feel yours. Like I feel the softness and the comfy aspect of the blanket.
Yeah, it's actually the cloth that I got in my shades box. So that went really well with the a blankie of this chair. So Shireen, today
Hmm.
I wanted to ask you about your most favorite. thing annually, which happens to be your birthday, just went by. Oh, by the way, there is an interesting factoid about Markolide. Shirin had decided that we upload premiere Markolide on 1st of April, which is in between both our birthdays. Mine was 29th March and hers was 3rd of April. So something in between. And yeah, I wanted to really give space to the joy that you feel as your birthday is coming. So how was experiencing that joy?
I think I have a lot of that anticipation with it. The fact that it's coming, it's coming. Oh my God, it's coming. I kind of look forward to it for days in advance. And a lot of, sometimes people have this thinking, "Hey, it's your birthday, it's fine, it's one day, what's the big deal?" Like, but I think it's important to celebrate. I think it's important to have that cheer and joy. And it doesn't really deter me if there is not enough of it around. I feel like I can create it. I think I just
Hmm.
have that feeling always. And for me, it's extremely important that not just me, but people around me also have some kind of celebration. So my family, my friends, and I really wish all of them to have. So if I can create it, like if I have maybe a get together somewhere where we can come together and spend nice, fun, quality time, that's the best. But if that is not possible, I do feel like all of them should also have a little bit of a piece of cake, metaphorically and like actually, literally.
Hmm.
So yeah, and it's been really nice. And I think I always feel like there will be something profound that happens on that day. But I think the profound part is okay, sitting with the idea that it is a day of absolute joy and gratitude in
Hmm.
all aspects. So yeah, it was a
Something
good.
profound is where I'm stuck right now. That
Mhm.
the every profound in what sense? Like coming to a realization, personal growth, is that the thing, or naturally a profound thing just spawns on your birthday?
I just like naturally, I feel like I don't think there's going to be a shooting star or something.
Hmm.
No, but profound with just certain realizations, being more reflective,
Hmm.
doing a little bit of more introspection. So one of the things that we did was we went for boating. And for me, I like to do something. I just don't want to sit and chill and like no, I feel like so boating also do the pedal boat thing. And it was really uh, peaceful, quiet, really naturalistic in the whole experience. It was green and a sense of serenity. So sitting out there, and I'm like, okay, and do I really want to think about, oh my God, it's my birthday, or just take things more in the space and in the now and be like, yeah, there can be a lot more days like this too. So I think profound in the fact of the small, small realization. So I think at least that one day makes me realize that we can create a lot in a day if we actually do
Hmm.
want to. For me, this time, that's what really hit me that I do have the capacity to do it, to make one day make something more because there is that much time to even do it.
Hmm. This is so cool, man. Create a lot in one day. And don't we love creating as artists?
I think I think we can just create at every part and every point. So yeah.
Speaking of creations and
Hmm.
creating, I created a listening space for three individuals. The thing that I've been like waiting to tell you about, the street listening thing that I went to.
And
So,
I'm highly curious.
okay, so I don't want to get into uh, every detail and
Hmm.
get to the meat of the situation. So through our classmate Shikha, I got to meet up with this NGO and their they do this listening sessions on street and anybody can volunteer. So their campaign is called Sunona, and
Hmm.
they do it in Bangalore, Kanpur, Delhi, Noida, and one more city, Ahmedabad. So I went for one of them, and I was like, I spoke to Shikha that can you prep me because I've not taken on like one-on-one clients. That other group thing is what I had done, right? So I was like, what can I do? And I spoke to Shikha, and she just said that uh, put in as much as art that you can in this whole thing, right? So what I did was I created a poster, and so they had their posters like, yeah, you talk, we listen, or something like that, listening space with ear cartoons and hearts around. And you've seen those people who stand with free hugs
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah,
banner.
yeah.
So the
Uh-huh.
whole concept is that, and free listening, right? So what I did was, I took with me a bunch of colors, sketch pens and pens, right? And my favorite thing to build rapport in any space that I go, and like the group spaces that I've done up till now, what has been a hit is what color would you like to choose? Instead of just getting into that whole thing of small talk, and small talk cringes me in a big way. So I really,
We shall come to that maybe a little later as to why
sorry,
that. I mean, I'm thinking we can talk about it a little further later, but why? I would, but
why small talk cringes me? I mean, the awkwardness of it all. I think it's so slow paced. There is so much to it. Anyway,
yeah, that's what I feel like. I've got my two pens as well. First, you
yeah,
finish this, and then maybe that.
like I've felt myself cringing, like with the start of therapy session. That whole thing where the hellos exchange that happens, and then I immediately start off with interesting topics. Have you noticed that? Like I'll always start off with something that will just uh, take your attention to a curious space, which leads into a very good conversation. So I do that to avoid the small talk,
I
like
wonder what our initial talks were like then. Was I just remember a lot of side talk and the excitement that we could share and understand what we were saying, like the
precisely. So this is my hack to not do small talk. And that's why you must have seen that, yeah, tangents happen on
yeah, we're
exciting
long talk
topics,
people.
right? So yeah, I'm glad that we had the show and tell of this to be able to get into the conversation. And Makulai starting the intro doesn't seem weird because I'm so in love with Markolide, right? Like the word Markolide, and I can keep repeatedly doing that. Like normally, people who don't cringe with small talk, they would be okay with, oh, hi, good morning, how are you? They're okay with that. And which is why we have invented Markolide, or I have invented Markolide. That's why it's so much fun saying, oh, hi, Mark, instead of exchanging the good mornings and the me hi and Chiksen me hi.
It
So,
kind of takes that away. It like breaks that, yeah, the awkwardness, I guess.
exactly. And yeah, we will make that the whole episode. So, getting back to the listening, street listening sessions. So, I made these, took these yellow papers. Okay. Since I was not aware that how much time will I have with the people who would approach me, that and I kept in mind that white paper, white canvas is so, we've spoken about this, right? White canvas is so intimidating for people to start doing art. So I had kept that in mind. Hence, I took yellow with me and I had them do whatever they were exploring through art uh, inside instead of outside. And when they would leave, they would shut this because it's a street space. So I was just thinking ethically that confidentiality, how much ever I could maintain with my clients, I wanted to. So like this would be something that they would write inside, and they could cover it up since it was a college space, and obviously even adults who are way grown up, they would also have the schema for hiding
Yeah.
writing. So I wanted to give them a private space, if you may, as they are doing their art expressions. So yeah, I had three people approach me, and I had put up this banner. I got the banner right here. Um, the cartoons that I am keeping the paper away so that audio isn't very crackly. So the cartoons that I made of my phone, so I made that. I made her, and yeah, you can share, and I will listen. You can also express in art in bold. So this was stuck on a board, and I was holding the board up, and yeah, people were coming out of curiosity. So I thought that sorry, I'll just gather my thoughts. Amongst the other banners that there were, uh, I thought that it was just generating that curiosity of what's written right there. It could have been counterproductive as well. That yeah, people who are just passing by quickly might not read it. Um, but that's why I put it on yellow so that it's like really highlighted. And yeah, the first person was one of those people who were like skeptical of a therapy space. So it was quite interesting to me, and that they were leading into the curiosity of yeah, what's happening here. And so I was seeing the whole thing, observing the whole thing as it was going on. I was taking the banner, and I made it flat like that so that they could start working on the sheet with the pen and all. So it started to look to me like some sort of street magic, some gimmick is happening, and it was generating that curiosity. So I did I fortunately got a bench that I could take them to sit at, so that it's semi-private. And I did the body scan thing with them, asking them if they were comfortable to shut their eyes, and had them draw themselves the grounding exercise that Sudha brought. So I learned it from Sudha. So the drawing themselves, and when you draw yourself with eyes shut, anybody can imagine you would be drawing your eyes outside your face, or maybe your hands might end up having eyes. So did the body scan, making them aware of their scalp, shoulders, blah blah blah, and have them drawing the face, eyes, and torso, arms, and all that. And then I had them open their eyes, and of course they gave a laugh because it looks funny. And then it further mellows them into the process. And I said so I basically explained to him how therapy works initially, as we sat down, and then asked him for his consent if he is game to further get into this explained what I'll be doing, and then I started off with the what color will you choose. So he chose orange, and yeah, he yeah, I then said that, so you are here and you are also here.
Mhm.
So what would you like to? I asked his name. He shared. They said, "What would you like to say to ABC?" And he just wrote, "Conquer your goals." So I
Mhm.
made a chat bubble, and like how on my cartoon it is. So I said, "Yeah." So this one, this ABC is saying to that ABC this. So then he started to say that he started to share more things like life's not been good to me at all, words to those effect. And then I decided to, as he was sharing more, I decided to put in solution focused therapy ka miracle question in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, if you allow me, can I draw you? So I
Mhm.
flipped the sheet. I drew him. I drew another character, and I drew a gift in between. And I said, this is life. This is you. Life has given you a gift,
Mhm.
let's say in the future. What do you think this gift box contains within itself? Just write on bullet points. So he wrote those two things, and I'm not going to share what, but I said, so now you have these two macro things right here. So I had to, so he was an audience that I would almost keep losing. So I had to bring in the details of what is actually happening over here. Okay. And I sort of got defensive about art therapy because I thought that I suddenly got insecure that, oh no, it is skeptical because this is seeming gimmicky,
Mhm.
because it is just like the drawing ही चल रही है यहाँ पे. हाँ, सड़क पे. Yeah, you had some thought.
But yeah, I'm just as I'm visualizing because obviously I am visualizing the whole thing as it must have played out because you're expressing it so nicely. Is that you're sitting on a bench, right? And you're sitting baju baju mein?
Um, so if he's sitting like this, I'm sitting like that.
Ah.
So
Because I
I
wonder
just,
how would it like would the space have been better if you were facing each other? Or I also wondered if that idea of just like listening would be more comfortable if you all remained anonymous in the sense of how they have the confession boxes and you
confessional,
don't
yes.
have that aspect. Yeah, so I'm like, would that have been more because we don't really know what next, right? We can't it's not really in these kind of sessions don't know where it goes, which is fine.
I know,
And it's
right?
interesting to
As therapists, we would feel like, oh no, I can't leave it just right there. There's so
yeah,
much
so
that
that
came out.
and then yeah, I'm just like thinking of all of these parables, and I'm also thinking of okay, so this person, three people came, and you had that board up there, and what a marvel I think to happen in a sense, ki bhai, these were the people who actually came, and a lot of people must have just passed by. A lot of people must have just given it one glance, but then there are some people who actually were curious enough or required it maybe. And what difference in that 1 hour or how much ever time you spent with them.
1 hour.
It's a
Yeah,
1 hour. It's
just
like
1 hour.
but it is still 1 hour, 16 minutes. It could create so much for them.
Yeah.
And, uh,
I had so many ideas post that. So I'll just finish this before I forget. Um, so yeah, there would be big chunks of conversation happening, and then body scan, draw thing, and then later the solution focused therapy miracle question thing, the gift. So I just shared with him that See, you got the macro things down. All you have to do is just do the micro things.
Yeah.
And the next person was so yeah, it was so interesting. After not, I'm not gonna get to the next person yet. So this person at Konam ABC. So ABC, after it was done, I don't know whether it was a reaction of uh, some great work was done, but I'll tell you his body language. He and I shared with him that you can keep this. This is yours. And I shared that the idea is why I got these is because you can. Oh, we're about to run out of time real quick. So yeah. The idea was that I shared that he can look back at this and reflect more. And I wanted to encourage that, yeah, self exploration is doable. Whether it is they go and share it with their friends or with somebody else or with a counselor and showing them a little snippet of therapy is doable. So I wanted them to carry away that. And I, of course, shared, like, yeah, if something more comes up, of course, I did not share my number or email. I was like, yeah, you can DM me. Uh, we can get in touch and figure out if you have any curiosities or questions. So the whole thing ended. I closed it nicely, and he took the sheet and folded it into as many folds as he could. That's how it ended with the first person.
Mhm.
So I think this episode is going to be long.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the symbolic meaning of someone folding a paper to that level, like just fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it till it's just like a chit. And when it opens up, what else could it be?
Yeah, I really don't know what the intention was, but as a therapy space provider, I felt very satisfied that he allowed himself into this headspace to do something, because he could have easily given up in the first go. And he had things like, so when the chip folding thing happened, no, he still stayed. He did not leave. And even though I was very clearly doing the body language of, yes, the next person can come in, he stayed there. And one of those people who are skeptical of therapists and other words like that.
Yeah.
He's like, so you suffered from mental illness, haven't you? So sort of like, okay, you did me. Now I'm going to put you under the microscope. So, so it's like I've seen a lot of mental illness up
Mhm.
close. So for him, it was self disclosure, and then he started to talk more.
And
He
how much time had
started,
passed?
huh?
How much time had passed? Like how much talking then the
I would not
actual thing?
know. Would really not know, but yeah, he did show curiosity about understanding what depression exactly is in like great detail, physiologically what happens and neurologically what happens, stuff. So yeah, that was like the first client, and the second one was pretty pretty game, but like the second one, I would say uh, help helped himself in great way, man. So let's take a break and we'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you end it so that we can just restart it.
Okay. Okay. And we are back. So, talking about the second person. Should I be calling them clients? Because I've been using the term pseudo clients. Because they
Um,
did agree
people,
for therapy.
yeah, yeah, but not a really therapeutic setting in a sense, right?
Yeah, because
Like,
ethically speaking, it wasn't up to mark.
hmm.
Markolide. Shirin and I get excited about wherever we can use the word mark because
And that would be interesting, right? To also have other mark related words and mark related associations that people potentially have. And imagine if we actually have someone who is called Mark who can come and chat with us on this session.
Shirin, we do an episode with 10 marks.
Oh my god. Oh, 10 marks also. 10 on 10.
Again, this is why I want our conversations recorded.
दिमाग में गाना चल रहा है 10 on 10. What is that song? Uh,
Can we hold that?
yeah.
So, this. Welcome to Tangent Talks.
I think, yeah. Imagine okay, let's not. Oh my god.
Yep. Hmm. My radio training is coming in. Dead air, dead air. Laughing away. I love us. So, I, yeah, the second person who came in, they body language. Why I was observing their body language really well, and they were giving good eye contact. Okay, and I wasn't. So this is like the first time I was really like assessing what I the kind of eye contact is being given as in the role of a therapist. I was observing that, and it was seeming very like I am nervous. Can you help me? Help me. So it was like sort of those type of eyes. So
Yeah.
immediate, like it happened so quickly that I was turned towards more towards them, and
Hmm.
I was asking about their comfort more, and like he was like it comes as set that yeah, let's begin. What are we doing? I'm here to work on myself or whatever. So yeah, explain the whole thing to him as well, and he had chosen the color blue, and he was talking about how he was feeling nervous to approach a girl who was upset, thinking in his mind that she would think that what's she would be more or less like, what's your problem, bro? Why are you
Hmm.
approaching me? And he had this need to go and approach her because she seemed so sad, and he hesitated, and so he did start with this thing. I'm like really shy to speak with girls and stuff, and so again I like, and he became quiet, like he announced what he wants to work on, and then he became quiet, and there was this silence there, and then like I filled it up with so something what did I say? Is there something coming up in the recent? Is there something exciting that is coming up with your life in a few months or something? So he shared how he's gotten a new job and all that. So the conversation started to go over there, and then he brought it back to And I'm like still wondering that I should really go and approach girls. Some words to that effect. Don't remember exactly. And then I took permission to start drawing him. So, sorry, I mixed it up. I started to draw him, and it is then when he started to share more about his hesitation to talk to girls. Jumbled it up. Uh, so, speaking about shyness, then what's been going on, what's coming forward, I start drawing, and then he started to share. Oh, but then again, why would she would really think that this is weird that I'm coming and talking? So I started to do the shadow work questioning thing for him. And I explained to him that, okay, so what I'm hearing is there is a dilemma. So I'm going to draw you. And I drew a girl with eyes lowered and with no expression. And I made a big chat bubble. And I wrote on top why to approach. And second, I wrote why not to. So I said, why don't you fill these two up? So he quickly did that. And he expected that I will be reading it. I said, this is for you. You keep it there. So, and I said, just now answer the question from the girl's side. Imagine you are asking what happened, and she is saying, why are you asking me this? And what would you
Mm.
reply to her? So he's like, because I seem concerned. So I said, so what do you think she would say back? So like, she might say thanks for showing concern. So I said, see, that could also be a possibility.
Yeah.
So then I just gave him, like, as I explained to him also how therapy works and what do you take away from therapy and art-based therapy or art therapy, how it works and all. And I said, you can take something tangible from the therapy space. And what doesn't occur to you during the therapy, maybe something more occurs to you later on. So hence I'm giving you this, a piece of you, a piece of work that you did in the therapy space where you can reflect back and ये जो questioning आपने करी अपने आप से, you can do it in many different scenarios. So yeah, again I shared my Insta, told him if something comes up or because
Yeah.
right as we've been told art can be so powerful. And which brings me to the last person, something like that did happen where did the same thing, body scan, drawing themselves, eyes shut, and telling them, this is you, what would you like to say to them, did the chat bubble thing. And he just drew a smile. And this gentleman was a little older than the previous two. He just drew a smile. And I just said, yeah, sometimes a smile is all you have to say to yourself.
Yeah.
That's good enough. And then we got talking more on the lines of the same thing and how it is so amazing that so quickly he got to see himself, a reflection of himself and self work and all that. And then I ended it with that you just drawing a smile is good enough expression. And as we were leaving, he got teary eyed, and this one really moved me. It moved me the moment he just drew that smile. Because he made a smile, and then the brackets of the smile, and that's it. And I was like, wow, that is so powerful. And then yeah, we then closed it with a few uh, breathing exercises, like where how we started. I brought him there, and yeah, then just regular chit chat was happening. Um, he works with a few NGOs at Pune, so that conversation was happening, blah blah blah. And then yeah, he wasn't teary eyed anymore. Like I couldn't really open that up further, but I had my intentions set that I'm introducing to you how an art therapy space can look like, a therapy space can look like, or counseling or whatever listening space can look like, and just that little nudge that let's work on your mental well being. See, it is so easy, you know. My intention was just that, and I did not know that a moment like that smile thing would happen. So I
Yeah.
didn't have words. Yeah.
And just like the not having words, and I honestly think about how the making of the smile was more, you know, coming back to the word profound than just a emoji. And that seems so like on the surface, so superficial, not sometimes conveying enough. But then people also have this really nice way of putting across their feelings in words, and but not everyone can really do it. And that constant, I think it must also be a struggle, no, to not being able to express or not having the right words to be able to do that.
And I
And
think I should also add that since there was a little chaos in the bench area where I was sitting with other people, we went near a tree where there were way less people. So that could also be a factor in, but yeah, man, like Rutika had said in one of the classes, people will always find a way to express. Like imagine if it was just talk therapy and there was no element of having a color pen and paper to express. I
yeah,
don't know what it meant to him. It's only he who can tell. But like, let's put me in the role of a client, and let's say I just draw an eye with a little tear, and I later I'm drawing that because I am so choked up, I'm not able to cry, but just making that teary eye as a message to myself that you can let go can be just so powerful, you know. So that's what I feel like with therapy also. It's just that you just do that little bit and it just stays with them and they do whatever they do with that. But then also there is that thing, no, that are they gonna be okay?
hmm. The staying with them is the staying with them is the most important thing, no? Because afterwards it can just come that conversation. Okay, I had this conversation or this session a couple of hours ago, and something hits you then. And at that point, also, do you reflect upon it? Would it be nice to have a paper and pen and just put it out? "Okay, how okay, now I'm thinking about it maybe now, like in this manner. At that point, because so much must be going on in the head, so it's coming out only in this manner. Or maybe it happens the next day or a few days down the line, because that's how it, what resonated with you, what stayed with you. When does it get an opportunity to come out?
Yeah. These, oh my God, you know what? Markolide episodes are gonna be so good for us in the future
Mm-hmm.
because we will get to meet us in the infancy stage of art therapist, art based therapists. So, so yeah,
Yeah.
this
And
will
it
be.
will somewhere kind of go through the different stages as to see how, because we're also taking in so much content on a daily basis, especially in this month, and we have so much of studying and reading to do, that it will be interesting to, from a third perspective, like, or rather in retrospect, see how does it change or does it affect our body language, maybe our thoughts, our words, our ideas towards things. What's the evolution like?
Yeah. And like this is so new, and that's why that worry for the client is coming. And I would really like to see that, does that worry ever go away? you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be really interesting to. Oh, hi, future Kopal. Did the worry go away?
And like, if not, then what do we do with it? Because it will have to be like, okay, you have to go here, because how much can we sit with?
Hmm. By the way, the whole experience was so draining. Just that I don't know whether it was an hour and a half, but it was very draining, man. I came back and I did my ritual of doing the blue lights, the blue fairy lights, and the neon artworks were just shining through that. And yeah, I documented the whole thing, even though the demand wasn't there. But for me, for future me, I needed to do it because I just love documenting stuff. So here are the four takeaways that I noted down. Help the client build emotional vocab. I guess maybe it's the smile client
Yeah.
made me feel that. Um, from a fixed mindset, help them to get into a growth mindset. I guess the first person made me feel that. Help 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 them realize that being honest with yourself helps you more with your therapy process. Help them understand that it's a process and not a one-stop shop for your emotional needs. I just love journaling.
Yeah. I'm just like stuck with the one stop shop for your emotional needs.
Yeah.
And like, what would that look like to have a store, one for your emotional needs?
Why don't we live
What
in
would
the
you
same city? I can make a skit out of it and you can act. Or, I mean, we can
you
act.
have like, I mean, like, what trolley would it be, and what bag would it be, and where would we enter, and what would be on the in the aisles, and what would be on the shelves, and yeah, a one-stop shop for emotional needs.
I bet if Anushri is listening, she's already started making the animation. So shall we close? I have a interesting
Yeah,
closing thing. So
yes.
I decided that we'll do a tangent talks tally. Like I've been marking.
Marking.
I've been marking how many times we went on tangents. So before and
Yeah.
after break, also we were having conversation. So the tally is 4 times.
Okay. I think that's
We
quite impressive, though.
right? So
Yeah,
we
just 4 times, I would say.
just four
Such
times.
self-control.
Such self control. And I till we went to went to break. It was only one tangent talk, and then after break it was three. So yeah, man. I don't feel like closing, but we have got to close
I
over
think we should have
here.
a opening and closing song also. Just like
आएगा
relevant.
idea आएगा. We I can't wait to make our what do you say, intro song. So
Yeah.
I think
I'm
I'm
also
really
like thinking in terms of things that we would like to maybe explore in the next Markolide would be Markpod rather. It would be in terms of this idea or small talks, and where that would be also in emotional vocabs, and because I was thinking of messages and letters and symbols, and yeah, I think because we were talking about birthdays, and it took me to all the messages that you receive in terms of wishes, and how amazing it is and feels, and just the gratitude for it, and from all your near and dear ones, and some that are not so near, but it's still nice to be in touch with or connect with, rather.
Yeah.
On that note, let's wrap up before any other thought comes to our highly creative, exploratory minds.
Yes. So many tabs and ideas that just opened. Anyway, if we continue talking, this will be like a just a brainstorming session.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, bye.
So, goodbye, Mark.
Oh, bye, Mark.